We are starting off the second semester with trigonometry. You should have encountered this before in geometry and in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, but this will be the culmination of all those classes into one. Really more like a big review, but kind of testing out your skills if you remember any of the trigonometry. Let's go into the first basics, what I use all the time and still to this day to remember trig is SOHCAHTOA or SOHCAHTOA. A little reminder of what that is. So means that the sign equals opposite over hypotenuse. Ka is cosine, is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Toa is your tangent, and that is your opposite over your adjacent. And just to reiterate, the inverse of those are your cosecant, which is your hypotenuse over your opposite, your secant, which is your hypotenuse over your adjacent, and your cotangent, which is your adjacent now over opposite. Or instead of doing that, you could just do 1 over sine, 1 over cosine, 1 over tangent if you were going to do that on your calculator instead of flipping the hypotenuse over opposite. You could just do the inverse, which is taking 1 over whatever function it is in your calculator. And remember also, with trig, we can never forget our Pythagorean theorem, right? Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared gives us c squared. So everything is now intertwined together, working together beautifully to give our answers. So let's say we were given tangent of theta equals 4 over 5. And they want us to find the rest of that. Well, I find with triangles and everything, and with math, it's easiest for me to draw a picture. With everything in trig, we are always working with a right angle. That's why the Pythagorean theorem works so well, because you can always use it in right angles. Our tangent, and I'm just going to pick one of these to be theta. This is going to be theta. Our tangent, remember, tangent being toa, that's opposite over hypotenuse. If that means tangent of theta is 44 out of 5, that means 4, 5. That is what that means. The tangent of theta equals 4 over 5. That means the length has to be 4 over 5th, or the ratio of the length, but we can reduce that to 4 over 5. So now we can just use our nice Pythagorean theorem to find what the other side is. So 4 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. This gives us what? 16 plus 25 equals c squared. 16 plus 25. That is not a nice number, but it is what it is. So c, our hypotenuse, is the square root of 41. Now we can find the rest with this, right? Sine is our opposite over our hypotenuse, which is 4 over the square root of 41. We do not like radicals in the denominator. Okay, we don't like radicals in the denominator, so I'm just going to multiply both by that. So that gives us 4 root 41 over 41. This is what our answer is for our sine. Cosine is adjacent, so that's 5 over root 41, which is 5 root 41 over 41. Tangent, well, we already know tangent, that's 4 over 5. Let's see here. We need cosecant. Next, cosecant is root 41. It's the hypotenuse, right, over 4. Secant is root 41 over 5. And then our cotangent is 5 over 4. And that is how we would find the other functions given what we have already done. Let's say we want to find out the exact numbers. Let's say here we are given the cotangent, but now they want us to break it down in terms of degrees, minutes, and seconds. So I don't know if you covered this before, but an angle can be broken down into degrees, minutes, and seconds. So let's say we have, they want us to find the secant of 12 degrees, 41 minutes, and 24 seconds. Well, we could all simplify this to say this is the same thing as the secant of 12 plus, well, there is, 41, how many minutes are in an hour? There's 60, plus then you got to do 60 times 60 again to how many seconds are in an hour. So that's 24 out of 3600. That will give you this if you're just going to punch it in. However, your calculator should already have a button that looks like this. And that button is your degree, minutes, second button. So if you don't have that, use this formula. However, your calculator, to do secant, remember we don't have a secant button, but we do have a cosine. So just press 1 over the cosine of all this. Let me see what that is. Cosine of 12 degrees, 41 minutes, 24 seconds. And it gives us about 1 point, I'm going to stop at 4 decimals, 1.0250 is our answer there. So this is the methodology. If they break it down into degrees, minutes, and seconds, if you don't have that button, if you do have the button, I highly recommend just using this button on your calculator. It will save you a lot of stress and trouble. And that is all that we have to cover today. Have a good day.